Bolivian shaman in Ireland, took a trip to the stars and came back with cosmic connections. Changed his life on the spot, told me all about it.
I'm standing on a cliff in Ireland and asking for help from the firmament to which I am connected spiritually through Mother Ayahuasca. And boom, here I am in Libya cooking for the doctor. That's what they call the great leader, Colonel Qaddafi. I could just stand there and address the firmament.
He was that sure of himself.
I wanted 4 things. 1, get me out of the rain and cold, and Mother Ayahuasca did.
He calls it Mama Ayahuasca. I call it opening the genie's bottle.
2, work beside the sea, and I'm in Tripoli.
The genie is out of the bottle.
3, good pay.
The genie is grateful.
4, in hospitality.
The genie and his damn bottle come from the Middle East. I call that an eerie coincidence.
It all starts at the airport, where I meet the sous chef they've hired to work for me, Freddie. He's a few years younger, first time off the reservation, very enthusiastic, and somewhat naive.
I can live without portrait of me.
No idea if he can cook.
Hey, that's libelous.
First class to Tripoli.
First class? All the Jack Daniels my big heart and my little liver desire.
With a plane change in London, short stops, Frankfurt, Rome, even a couple of Arabs in first class near us.
I dub them Mott and Jeff.
One tall and balding,
Mott.
one short, mustache,
Jeff.
oilmen consulting Pemex.
We figure they color the flight.
They colored the flight. Plane change in London, and there they were again.
Oh, Mott and Jeff.
Frankfurt, still there. Not friendly, but a nice coincidence. We saw them again when we got kicked off the plane in Rome.
Oh, we had to get our Libyan visa fixed.
We reboard in Rome, and there they are again.
Mott and Jeff.
And when we deboarded in Tripoli, the tall one
Mott.
turns to us and says in English, Sergio, Frederico, follow me.
Perfect English. A light dawns in Tripoli before sunrise.
They rush us through customs ahead of everybody, but they find a bottle of Jack Daniels in Freddie's luggage.
Guilty as charged.
Pour it out, the tall one says.
Oh, shitty English.
Freddie steps out in the street and feeds it to the sewer gods.
I poured it out. I was pissed, literally and figuratively.
I think he was slightly drunk from the flight.
Hey, did Sergio write that he broke my heart to do it? No, thought not. Jackie D, near and dear to my heart. Screw the Libyan blue laws.
Outside the airport, Mutt introduces us to our driver. This is Manso, your driver. Thank you very much. And just like that, he hands Manso our passports and
Or passports? Manzo!
sweet guy, sweet smile, and with a little English.
And with our passports in his pocket.
He drives us in a white, middle-aged Mercedes.
Guess Manzo is our full-time driver now.
Takes us for a wild ride through a sea of transport.
No rules, no lanes, no logic. Instantly sobering.
We reach the city center in one piece.
Fender benders everywhere. Men in flowing robes and turbans beside their vehicles, screaming at one another.
Qaddafi posters everywhere. Lampposts, fences.
38 years of Muammar Gaddafi.
Freddie points his camera out the car window and the car comes to a dead stop in the middle of traffic. No pictures, no pictures.
He screams at us.
Manso keeps yelling, no pictures, no pictures.
Okay, I get it.
Manso recovers and pilots us to our hotel.
Nothing grand. 5 stories maybe.
Hotel's adequate, has a reasonable first floor dining room.
The elevator works.
Manso hands our passports to the hotel manager.
No, there go again.
The hotel manager tells us you need anything, you let him know.
I need my passport, hombre.
Manso takes us out to buy what we need to cook for the great man. Good basic stuff, frying pans, colanders, silverware, a decent selection of knives. He tells us to buy whatever we need, and I pick out one knife and Manso gets agitated.
Take more! Take more! Money, no problem! He screams at us.
Grabs an entire box of knives and shoves it into my hands.
He always has plenty of cash. Take more! Take more! Oh, Jesus.
And that is how it has worked ever since we got here. Everywhere we go, as soon as they know who we work for, we pay nothing.
Don't make it sound so bad.
Work day one arrives. We're excited. Time to go to a Qaddafi house. Same house every day, by a different route every day.
So we never know exactly where we are.
Manso drives us to a palatial Qaddafi home compound, one of several, Manso explains. Maybe not his home.
Oh, no, that was a Bedouin tent someplace in the desert.
But this is very much the dictator's house. 6 feet thick concrete walls, 8 feet high.
It's a bunker.
2 armed guards toting AK-47s on each side of the entrance. A military guard walks by.
Oh, all women!
Inside the kitchen, we walk into a chef's dream. The air-conditioned kitchen, gigantic wool stoves, walk-in refrigerators, freezers, a pantry stocked with Italian white Alba truffles,
Ubari King watermelons,
almost caviar,
Matsutake mushrooms,
Wagyu steaks, fine balsamic vinegars, the best olive oils, spices from around the world, and a collection of fine wines, cognacs, champagnes.
We were never to mention that to anyone, of course.
All presided over by this huge Libyan house manager,
Whom we call.
Bigoton.
Or a big mustache in Spanish.
He has a large mustache,
Surprised he could raise his upper lip to speak.
a deep voice.
No emotion.
Bigoton shows us the break room, air-conditioned.
Biggest TV I ever saw.
Video games, ping pong table, soft drink stuffed cooler, and a swimming pool.
Ooh, bet he mentions those dinner plates.
And the dinner plates from the House of Versace bordered in gold.
There was money there. Each plate is worth $200.
And should any go missing,
If I happen to slip a couple in my backpack,
Bigoton said, naturally you shall be killed.
he was looking straight at me. I was only kidding.
Has anyone been, you know, convicted of stealing? And Bigoton looked at us for a long moment.
What have I gotten myself into?
There are experienced international chefs to manage all that imported food. The chief chef is André, French. A German named Otto, Peo, Spanish, Halal the Moroccan, and us.
When do we start cooking?
First, there are the house rules. Eat what you want, but take nothing out.
Food or anything else?
Never go beyond the second concrete wall. If we ever meet the doctor, never look him in the eye. Anything we want, we ask Bigoton for it.
Women, drugs, boys, booze. Sounded good to me.
We do anything we want as long as the doctor knows. That's what they call Qaddafi. Doctor.
I asked, can we start cooking?
Were the menu rules.
Rules hell, let's start cooking!
Bigoton wants no food from us before we know the menu rules.
We were there to cook.
Rule number 1, both at lunch and dinner, 3 dishes each.
That wouldn't be hard.
Second rule, every meal must have rice, but a different rice each meal.
Tough, but not impossible. See, I was ready to start, but they weren't.
3, no protein with fruit in a main course.
There went Sergio's best ideas.
4, watermelon for every meal.
No seeds.
Number 5 is hard.
No meal ever repeats over a month.
Bigoton pointed to a heavy ledger. We register a day's menu there, like an aviator's flight plan. 60 different menus every month.
I'll go to a chef executive.
We are aviators flying over terra incognita.
With no radar or altimeter.
6th rule's the simplest.
Oh no, 6th was the worst.
No white rice ever.
Never heard of such a thing.
None is what he wants. That's what we give him. Okay. Rice colored with parsley, rice with green tomatoes and yellow peppers and beets and yellow tomatoes and purple eggplant.
Ingredients, ingredients, ingredients!
Choose an ingredient to flavor and color the rice.
And maybe a little food coloring on the side.
We work like demons. Every meal, different colors, different tastes. Food into the tasters. One Chinese taster and one Libyan taster, Bigoton explains. Food into the tasters, then into Dr. Peo the Spaniard sidles up to us.
What is this Qaddafi? This colonel thinks he's a great man. My family has cooked for Generalissimo Francisco Franco. He was a great man.
Bigoton overheard him. Such talk is unhealthy. I've warned you of this. Our nation respects Colonel Qaddafi, and so should you.
You wouldn't back down. Puta mierda, tío, listen to you. You beg us to respect Doctor. Do you think Franco needed anyone to beg for him?
We understand food. Let's leave politics out of it. But Peo persisted.
This Libyan colonel sits on a sea of oil. Otherwise, Europe would crush him.
Bigoton's eyes went dead.
Bigoton's silence was screaming at us.
And at this point, I asked Freddie to just shut up.
Whoa, whoa. She's speed reading and skipping passages. I'm Freddie. Yes, I'm younger, less experienced than Sergio. More handsome, you're right. But she's getting an idea of me from Sergio's journal that's a little off. I'm Sergio's sous chef. Sure. We sous chefs do all the tough cooking work for Doctor. That's what everybody called him.
Doctor is what everybody calls Muammar Qaddafi. I think he's that sacrosanct in his Libya. That respected.
That feared, but we didn't appreciate that yet. But getting back to me, as sous chef, I do most of the cutting and chopping and frying and boiling and squeezing. Sharp knives, red hot pans, and boiling water are my world. Sergius is studying his favorite recipes at night and worrying about food quality by day. Chefs executives are strategic planners. Ooh. Who wants a taste? Raise your hand.
We started with a soup common on Mexican tables, fideo seco, a veggie soup with thin, small pasta.
Soup. No. Some call it soup, some don't. For those of you who are tasting it, you are tasting fideo seco. Just so you know, you fry the pasta a little to soften it, and while you keep your eyes on the noodles, not to burn them, you pour a couple of layers of the boiling chicken stock into the blender. Are you writing this down? On top of cooked tomatoes, onions, and chilies. You chop them in the blender, and then you run them through a strainer with the juice dribbling into the boiling bouillon. By now, when the noodles, the fideo, is slightly soft and brown, into the boiling water it goes, and ding, ding, ding! You have fideo seco. Thank you.
With all the fine, fancy food flying around this kitchen, fideo seco somehow stands out. Doctor loved it, ate it up, and I asked Peo, por qué? He invited me outside for a smoke away from Bigoton. Of course, Peo had his political theory, which could include fideo seco.
Maybe after all the power and disappointments, Doctor remains a simple man at heart. Maybe he all of a sudden worships with your fideo in some strange way. Who knows? Born and bred on the desert, yet water is his fate. Maybe fideo seco reminds him that his forefathers gave their life for water, shed their blood for it, and now he sheds the blood of others for a different fluid, oil. Perhaps fideo seco is a symbol for him of the oil that runs his empire. A river of oil at his service.
But the important thing we had to understand, of course, Bigoton informed us. Tasters checked our food before the great man eats it. Doctor chooses from 6 plates of food.
3 foreign, 3 local dishes from one of his Moroccan chefs.
They pronounce the dishes safe, and Doctor takes a few nibbles to make his final choice. I asked, what happened if a taster drops dead?
Oh,
That's performance pressure. Then I asked Bicoton if that had ever happened.
that is none of your concern.
Bicoton was diplomatically non-committal. That, my dear, is none of your business.
What he actually said was, listen to me, you're not here to ask questions, you're here to cook. Understand?
After that, Freddie and I talk a lot about why he had hired us. Mexico is a long way from Libya.
I hear he's building his case for a Mexican permanent visa. Just in case.
Freddie has a Mexico just-in-case theory, but Qaddafi's in complete control. There's no just-in-case scenario I could see.
Oh, yeah?
A day or two after we got here, I called Freddie's room. I'm watching Charlie's Angels. Half-hour show takes 10 minutes.
Oh, felicidades, genio. I noticed that 20 minutes after we arrived.
No décolletage showing on Qaddafi's television.
I will cancel my subscription.
And no news.
Screw that. Let's get back to Charlie's Angels.
Same's true of the break room. Even sporting events. Steffi Graf Waxen, Martina Navratilova in the French Open.
No bouncing Ruski breasts for us.
All long shots.
Shame. Crappy leave-in TV. Who needs it?
And then something interesting happened. Something started happening at work.
In a minute, she'll turn the page of Circuit's journal there and read it. She is reading it.
I send in my favorite plate. Chicken in peanut sauce, and it comes back, nibbled at, but I knew it. My cooking started coming back. I couldn't believe it. Huh. He kept eating the Moroccan food, but sending ours back, just a nibble or two.
Okay. Sergio's strategic planning got us into hot water, not boiling, but hot enough to cook a chef executive's reputation. At least neither one of his tasters struck dead. That's in our favor.
Doctor has a taste and decides whose meal he eats. In this case, not ours, but the food of the Moroccan chef, Halal.
A nice guy. He provides a meal along with one from one of us foreign chefs. Oh, in the World Cup of Cooking, Morocco versus Mexico. And Morocco kicks the pepper forward, moves to one side. Morocco moves forward, prepares, and shoots. Goal! A huevo! Halal wins! And I'll tell you now, as often as not, Morocco wins against everybody.
The German Otto seldom meets Halal. Peo sometimes, and the Frenchman Andre often.
Yeah, but only when he stoops to cook spaghetti. Pardon, pasta.
Tasted but uneaten, Bigoton shrugs. Doctor did not like, he says.
We come thousands of miles to cook for him and he rejects it. So what?
As Mexican executive chef, I bear all major responsibility.
Let's go for a smoke.
The rest of the chefs ate our dishes with relish. Peo favors us with a quick reality update.
Take it not personally. Qaddafi owns this country. He must prove to the world that he is the boss, and that Libyan cuisine is superior to that of Europe or Mexico if he thinks so.
Peo speaks frankly. Here we cook for money, my friend. And I replied, I cook to please people.
Peo smiled. He eats to rule. He decides who lives here, who dies today, who grows rich tomorrow, who starves. A meal from any of us can affect nothing.
Andre, the French chief chef, and Peo, the Spaniard, must have seen my chagrin. Both gobble our chicken in peanut sauce.
Andre comes with a peanut chicken, très bien, and Peo with un poco más, por favor. Andre is muy simpático.
Both muy simpáticos. Peo smiled at us warmly.
I wonder about you. How did you get here?
Well, I explained to them that we are Mexicans by way of Ireland.
An Irish Mexican.
I was running after-hours clubs in Mexico City, and they decided they didn't trust my right-hand man and disappeared him. I was getting into drugs myself, And my sister in Ireland convinced me to bail out before worse things happened. Through her, I got a job running a New Age B&B in Ireland.
But from Ireland to Libya. Pourquoi?
I took a trip on ayahuasca, guided by a Bolivian shaman. I got back from my cosmic connection, and the shaman proclaims me a leader of men.
Ayahuasca.
I explain. A potion from the Amazon jungle connects you to the cosmos. Not an illegal drug.
Some governments call it illegal.
I stood on a hilltop overlooking the sea, and I called for help from the cosmos, and here I am, a diplomatic chef, cooking for the head man of Libya. Not bad, I thought.
Peyo was not buying the big deal chef from Latin America routine. And your chicken in pino sauce comes back, eh?
All the chefs here, everybody except Doctor loves it.
Peyo was in a giving mood. You must understand something fundamental to survival here.
He told us there are no rules here. Well, the traffic told me that right off.
There are no rules here, except what Doctor decides on the spur of the moment. But he sits on a throne so rickety, he cannot trust the food set before him. His decisions are made beneath a crown of thorns.
I think Peo got a little too frank.
And the wrong person overheard.
A few days later, we got a taste of what Peo was talking about.
That
Tuesday, 2 officers come in. There's a woman with 2 goons in uniform. Army, police.
Who knows? So many goddamn uniformed people here, men and women.
They stride up to Peo, who was in the middle of stirring his paella pan. He didn't even see them, and they grab his arm.
Come with us.
Just like that, come with us.
We're authorized, etc., etc. Just come with us.
Peo starts to say something, and the officer slaps him.
Hits him hard.
Nothing official.
Just hard.
Peo falls back on his paella pan, and they drag him out with rice and shrimp and sausage and everything strewing across the floor behind.
Peyo doesn't let out a sound.
Nose bleeding. Drag him out the door, not a sound out of him.
Under walks over, turns off the burner, calm as though he had seen nothing.
Somebody gets a broom and a dustpan and starts cleaning it up.
Me. I cleaned it up.
Nobody says a word. We just continue cooking or playing ping pong in the break room.
Television.
I think we go back to square one and cook something simple. Molletes.
I thought it was too simple.
And the idea, he'll love molletes, I think.
Sergio hoped.
Almost impossible to know what he likes. Dictators like keeping people wondering and watching and wanting and waiting.
The 4 W's, cornerstones of the dictator's world.
They're common in Mexico.
Dictatorships.
Molletes.
Dictatorships.
But the Mexican cooking supplies we ordered never arrived. I had to make do with Libyan beans. As Pale would say, a functioning dictatorship is like a well-organized mollete.
Poor Peyo.
There is a small French bread that is cut with a knife. The knife is the political police, and the slit bread is the population. The political police are here to open up the people, so the dictator knows what's going on inside. He knows what we are talking about here in the kitchen.
Bigoton.
Next, the beans. Boil them soft, smash and drop them into a frying pan with oil and maybe some onions. Fry them a little and you have refried beans.
Doctor, he likes it, or...
The police better not find anything or else.
Or can mean a whole lot of things.
Or can be losing your job.
Peyo.
Or something worse. And just to make sure our populace is really on his side, the dictator heats up the atmosphere where the populace speaks. On television.
Controlled.
On radio.
Controlled.
To keep the populace warm and receptive to the dictator's message.
Call that the fire under the bread.
So now the refrieds come into play, and they're all the good things the dictator can pour upon his people
If he chooses.
if he chooses. A decent education, jobs, travel privileges, special tax-free stores.
How about the basics? A living wage, better housing, decent medical care?
None of that does anybody get as a right.
Doctor figures nobody has a right to anything.
Doctor decides who, why, how much. But it isn't just the beans and bread, there's the cheese topping it all.
Another rung up the dictator's control ladder.
Could be a good government job.
You show up once a month to collect your check.
Or you might be appointed a third assistant to a minister. The top ministry job's immediate family only.
Predictably, he had a large family.
His big family only was to be trusted. So the cheese on top is the final advantage you can get.
And still keep your hands clean. No, sort of.
None of this stuff did Freddie and I know when we got here.
Unfortunately.
And then something big happened.
Oh, something depressing.
Bigoton has news for me.
Delivered with the voice of Job.
A banquet. We aren't prepared. He announces, this day you meet Dr. Qaddafi himself. He came as a surprise, and Bigoton came with 3 rules to remember, Mr. Mexican.
Bigoton loved making rules, but Mr. Mexican here does not like to obey.
Go to the dining room.
We were never allowed.
Stand there on the other side of the table and do not look him in the eye.
Get ready, everybody.
Say hello.
Oh, I can't wait to hear her read what's next.
Say your name and leave.
That's 5 rules. Check his math.
The room turned out to be larger and more depressing than I imagined. Bare white walls.
Maybe remind the doctor of the tent he was born under.
2 men sit silent behind a table, long enough to seat maybe 12 to a side. We stood before the table looking down as directed.
Like a pair of obedient slaves.
I heard them breathing.
Or is it your own breath?
I said, hello, I am Sergio and this is Freddie, my sous chef. And his voice comes back deep, scratchy.
Oh, it makes me want to clear my throat.
I know your names. And I heard the young man beside him yawn.
I snuck a look. Oh, bad news, it's Saif al-Islam Qaddafi.
His son, Saif, sits beside him. We know from a picture in the break room.
Saif has more killings than anybody outside knows about. Break room talk.
The gravel voice growled at me. You're satisfied here? Qaddafi, are one of his doubles.
Best break room estimate, 10.
Well, yes, sir. Very satisfied. And he asked how I know I am satisfied.
Oh, I heard Saif snicker. Sweat trickled on my back. Holy shit. What have I gotten myself into?
And the great man inquired. Wages? Food? Your hotel? Your answer?
Inspiration must have reached him on the wings of desperation.
So, the opportunity to work in a small way for the great Libyan socialist revolution. He licked his boots. So then the doctor said, good, go now. That was all there was to it. That's all you got.
Up close, our fear melted into disappointment.
They're waiting for us in the break room. You were impressed, Bigoton wants to know.
I heard anticipation.
Not at all impressed.
There went the anticipation.
No time. The man rules this country with a will of iron, and he turns out to be a man in dark shades who can't look you in the eye. Andre smiled at my comments.
Bigoton didn't.
Later, Andre explained.
Do not make the mistake assuming his Reden is simple. His power is in the apparatus grown up around him. Each secret agent, each interrogator, each torturer has a vested interest in the Qaddafi machine as strong as he himself. That makes him dangerous.
Over cigarettes outside, I see more of his female bodyguards flashing by.
Beautiful. Dark, in battle fatigues. Automatics dangling from wet belts.
Almost as though Doctor wants us to see them. A thoroughly Qaddafi day.
All the same, our food came back uneaten.
The night before we are to cook, I consult my Mexican recipe file, preparing, planning.
Everybody likes her cooking but him, goddammit.
Sleep, I worry a lot. I feel as I felt my last days in Mexico City. After the bosses disappeared my assistant. I fall asleep in the break room, and Bigoton caught me.
You sleep well? There is always hashish. Say the word and it awaits you in your room.
He suggested hashish. Could I trust him? He's Libyan. And how long has he worked for the doctor? Of course he couldn't trust him. Everywhere I go, I am followed. Probably Bigoton knows it.
Oh, he knows it.
Sitting in the hotel lobby, which I do a lot, a little man sits nearby, glancing at me over the same newspaper every day.
The whole in our hotel, a stranger always lounged near my door.
Walking in Tripoli, a Western-dressed man walks always nearby, behind.
I noticed him first.
There's a friendly shisha bar near our hotel, hardly 100 feet from the door. Doesn't follow us in there.
Spiced, smoked, shisha tobacco bar.
We feel calm, safe there in the tobacco-flavored reek.
I like apple, pear, strawberry, all of it, even chocolate.
We sit at plastic tables, shisha pipe gurgling on the floor beside. Everybody relaxing on the open patio beneath the lights.
Sounded like everybody was talking at once.
Freddie and I use code.
Oh, code was Spanish. Doctor parece mucho a la chingada.
We talk the nonsense we feel.
Él y su puta sandía sin semillas. Que se joda.
Now, I no longer bother to read menus and prepare. I throw things together as the moment moves me.
And does it ever move you?
Rice a la caviar, pigeon and truffle casserole, duck in camel's milk.
Doubt it was pasteurized.
I'm only careful with desserts. Crepes, he liked.
What? No. Bigoton ignored the ledger when it came to my crepes because of my cajeta recipe. And here it is, my secret sauce. Who wants a taste? Doctor liked it. How about you?
The days I don't cook, I spend mostly in my room. I call my family in Mexico, or my sister Alma in Ireland, or friends all over the world. China. We talk for hours. My cell totally paid for.
And totally recorded.
And on the internet?
I've never been a big news guy, but no news there.
I hit the internet chat rooms.
Never mentions where we are or what we do. A wise move. Crepes beat chat rooms, huh?
There's the isolation of censorship, the isolation of being followed, the solitude of someone watching my internet. I sit alone in the lobby with my worries about my food returning uneaten. My mind goes often to women.
Hey man, I've never read it, but I bet here comes the swimming instructor.
Today was hot as dickens in the kitchen, but to the left of our kitchen bunker is a swimming pool.
Sadly vacant through the low slit of a kitchen window, which we enjoyed thoroughly.
There was a heavenly female form there, lovely long black hair, shapely form discernible under her thin white robe.
The pace in the kitchen picked up.
Quips and comments fluttered around the sweating cooks.
The quips and comments centered around, oh, you're hogging the view, get the hell out of the way. Oh, you can bet Bigoton hopped onto the swimming instructor, so to speak. Merely his swimming instructor.
I spy a beautiful woman through the window, and he calls her merely.
Or else,
Or else, Bigoton said.
in his best threatening voice.
Or else what? And he threatened us. Or else the results for you could be quite, I think you know. And nothing more of it was made by anyone.
The lighter fuel around the stoves evaporated. Even the heat made us feel our utter irrelevance.
My yearning to see anything familiarly feminine is a way station on my descent into isolation. Each meal coming back uneaten.
Prepared with care or carelessness.
Worries me more.
The other cooks, the pros, adored our cooking.
Am I fearful?
We're merely thin-skinned.
And the money in my hand, $1,000 US weekly for 12 hours a week. Not bad.
We sold ourselves cheap.
In Ireland, I found my inner life and purpose, and here I cook for money.
Here, you cook, you get paid.
Now, I am only making money cooking for the brotherly leader and guide for the great people's Arab Socialist Libyan Revolution. Sitting in the hotel lobby today writing this, you think of Peo's words. Peo.
Yeah. Peo, the people's poet.
Can't get free of it. Qaddafi sits on a throne so rickety, he cannot trust the food set before him.
Yeah. And where did it get him? No, not for me, please. No, thank you.
Mother Ayahuasca, she who had shown me so much of myself, has abandoned me.
Sergio was as much a prisoner of Qaddafi's whims and worries as the doctor himself.
Today I sit and wait without an order to cook.
No word.
No word.
No order.
No order.
No matter.
They overlooked us.
We drifted into 4 more days without a cooking assignment. Now that was a little serious.
I call Andre and I get him.
I was not aware you were not taken to cook. Let me look into that. I shall call you right back.
Freddie's nervous. I caution him, be professional, Freddie. Don't be paranoid.
What could getting fired in this place mean? There's no difference between us and anybody else in this world of that nut and his murderous sons.
I keep calling the front desk. 207, 208.
I keep calling the one number they gave me.
I suggest Freddie call his family.
I did! They said, get on a plane and come home. They didn't understand. We couldn't just leave unless he said so. My mother kept saying, they're gonna kill my son, they're gonna kill my son, Jesus. Very calming.
Day 5, and the silence breaks with a ringing phone. Andre, finally.
Sergio, you cook lunch tomorrow. Freddie cooks dinner.
Had to be good. Day 6, I wake early from the first good rest in days. Monso picks me up in the usual Mercedes. I cook lunch, and it comes back as always, uneaten. Almost 3, I go outside the bunker for a cigarette, and Bigoton emerges just as a beat-up Ford arrives. I ride to the hotel behind a sullen new driver, and Freddie waits in the lobby impatiently.
Where was Manzo?
I told Freddie Manzo didn't show. I keep calling Andre until almost 10, nothing.
Oh, my dear friends, there has been un petit problème. He said they expected the dishes to be more Mexican. Andre wanted a new request for our ingredients right away. Tonight by email, what we really need.
Our second list of ingredients, bigger and better. We spend the night on the computer, and we wait.
Mobile phone silent. No dial tone. Day 10 of the silence. My family emails me. Mexican authorities cannot help. Shall we send prayers or money?
No answers anywhere. Another day of silence from the Qaddafi bunker. A Freddie call to Andre gets a response.
I will
Since Andre is under the control of Bigoton.
I will stop by hotel at 5 or 6 tonight. Everything is fine. See you there. A bientôt.
Andre arrives 5:10 in the afternoon walking. Always had a car, a driver, walking. Now strange. Good to see him. A job problem or a cooking problem. Maybe it's a political problem. Somebody forgot about you. We go up to your room now. I wait to ask in the elevator, what the hell is happening, Andre?
Andrew suggested we talk in the room.
So we walk in silence to Freddie's room.
Safer there.
We listen to Andre carefully. Your ingredients are not going to arrive. They say they didn't like your cooking, and they don't want you here anymore.
Fine. Pay me good money and I'll leave.
Andre tried to calm us. Many of us are being left in our homes without working. It happened to me, it happened to the swim instructor. I think bad things are happening to Doctor and his family.
Andre was as much at sea about this as we were.
Andre asked us, "What do you want?" And I shall ask them. $5,000 severance.
A piece.
An open ticket
2 open tickets
to Europe and Mexico.
for an entire year.
And Andre said, "I shall see what they will do."
Allow me to tell you, you forget to feel what he does. To understand a dictator, you must eat like a dictator. Order everything on the menu, then you'll understand what time your needs.
What the hell happened?
That is life here. Waste on top, want below. You eat from Qaddafi's hands, or you eat not at all. The table, he said, serve yourself.
Andre suggested we stuff ourselves, promise to call in the morning, and bid us adieu.
He dropped the bomb and disappeared.
And at that moment we stepped into a new reality.
Bye-bye, Doc.
Goodbye, Doctor.
And your chingada seedless watermelon cubes.
With your multicolored rice.
Oh, forget not the caviar in the piece.
He tastes everything and eats nothing but his own Arab food. I pick up the phone and call room service. Send me up the dishes on your menu. Yes, I said all.
And 6 Pepsis, please. No Coke here.
A knock on the door and 6 servers enter pushing 3 loaded trolleys.
6 guys dragging 3 trolleys. Oh, that cruddy room came alive for the first time.
We hand plates around and we giggle. A shawarma Doctor adored.
Arab bread.
Lamb 3 ways.
Chicken twice.
Dozen vegetables.
6 diriks.
Shorba Arabia. What's that?
Oh, thick Arabian soup.
Couscous. White rice.
Fried rice, mostly in edibles.
Spanish rice.
Better.
Figs, steaks, oranges, apricots, olives.
What are we? Bedouin vegetarians? And a cheeseburger.
You could call it piles of uneaten food in a starving state party.
You could call it a cigarettes and Pepsi party. Andre promised to call in the morning.
Andre Freddie seemed disappointed it didn't work out. I told him maybe we'd get some money out of this.
And I told him we won't.
Maybe a good job elsewhere.
I lost it with him. I told him, don't be stupid, Sergio. Don't tell me you didn't know something was wrong all along. And you told me not to be paranoid. Well, I told him not to be stupidly optimistic.
Paranoia creeps in. 7 o'clock in the evening. Phone rang, thank God.
In the end, they really like the food. There is a possibility you go to another member of Doctor's family. The daughter in the United Emirates. He will love to send his daughter to the Mexican team. He loves you.
Andre, thank you very much about the daughter, but if you could get the 10,000 and our tickets out of here, it would be better for everybody. I am not into working for this family.
I am not into being his surrogate son-in-law.
He promises us to call back shortly and he hangs up.
Now comes the real pressure.
No word that day. The next day.
2 weeks.
Difficult days follow.
2 weeks of terror.
We eat little. We each go to our rooms and call our family to ask for help.
Or to say goodbye.
I described the situation to my sister Alma. We're supposed to get out of here.
No passports. We are screwed.
We call Andre for the umpteenth time. God, Bigaton answered the phone.
They send you back to Mexico. Get ready now.
They're sending us back. But where's Andre?
It is none of your concern. Get ready now and we'll let you know.
We could have gotten him out. Just imagine, Andre.
Yeah, poor Andre. But there's nothing we can do, so jump to packing.
I packed my bags in 5 minutes.
I finish in 2.
We set our rooms ready.
What do we do next? We wait and wait.
Now we realize how deeply the dictatorship reaches into the soul.
No sleep that night.
We're up again at 5 in the morning.
Would they take us to the airport?
All All we needed from them was the main palace, and to know when he was there. Those who have suffered in the wake of Qaddafi's displeasure, who remembers?
Whom he or his sons murder in his own country, it's nobody's business.
By 9 o'clock in the evening, Freddie's desperate.
Well, Sergio didn't look so cool
We
himself.
go down with Freddie's bags and my backpack.
That backpack's always with him. He got it someplace free.
We go to lunch to see if we can eat anything.
It was the last supper at noon.
More peppers and breads, some pasta, try some vegetables.
I hate watermelon.
After that, back to the lobby. Anything for us?
Nothing. Purgatory.
Nothing. And we stay in our rooms. I keep calling the front desk at nightfall. We are fed up. We are checking at the front desk, and Freddie suggests we go out our last night in Tripoli.
Let's go out and get laid or something. We were always encouraged to stay in.
Let's see what they didn't let us see. I take my backpack, a wallet, camera, Mexican driver's license, European work permit, and a handful of dollars.
No passport.
Our escape opens before us as we cross the lobby, and the night manager calls after us.
Sir. Oh, sir, you want I call you a cab?
He tries to stop us. We'll be back in an hour. You'll be here.
Yes, sir.
Call nobody.
Of course not, sir.
Our lives are in the night manager's hands. I wonder if he knew it.
Oh, he knew it all right. We should have tipped him better.
We cross the park in front of the hotel. We dodge into a restricted area that's empty, a fortress where we were told never to snap photos.
I take photos.
Of course, Freddie snaps photos. We're warned never to do that.
What the hell? This is Tripoli by night.
This is Tripoli. Somebody will shoot us or arrest us.
Nobody would find out.
We take pics along the way. After the fortress, we go on to see buildings.
Which were not permitted us during the days here.
Crossing a parking lot, we are caught in the sudden, unexpected animation of evening prayer.
We sit down and wait.
Prayers end. And around us, organized chaos returns. We walk fast through a market closed for men only.
We're side by side, shoulder to shoulder, no
We
stopping.
walk in a new reality. We walk through a poor neighborhood.
Through poor streets.
Crowded.
All doors open.
We disappear.
People look out at us with suspicious eyes.
How long did we wander?
We were lost.
Freddie gets nervous. Come on, Freddie, I tell him.
We're gonna stay here forever.
We're in the middle of a storm, but we must keep walking and the storm will end. That's our prayer. The hotel. We gallop towards it. No security guys waiting, and that's a relief.
No news?
I call the lobby every 45 minutes. No, hope. Hope. We must keep it before us or we're dead in the storm of silence.
We're screwed. We're gonna stay here forever.
Smoke in silence, 2 packs each, a dozen Pepsis.
Each. Better killed by Pepsi than Qaddafi.
3 a.m. Still smoking, no sleep. I sit on my tiny balcony and I stare up. So I'm inside the Milky Way, searching for Mother Ayahuasca. No shirt, feeling the air. Feel where you are to remember who you are. My light must never go out. I know I have little without Mother Ayahuasca. I have less light than one of those stars. Go to bed. 6:30. Telephone. I wait 2 rings. Not a hallucination. Before the 3rd ring, I pick up. It's Freddie.
Cabrón, el carro está abajo. Vámonos, vámonos de aquí.
I hang up and I grab a hotel comb and shoe polish sponge memories of Libya. I'm out of the room in 30 seconds.
We were happy nervous.
Is this real? Somebody's here for us. We run through the lobby, happy.
We toss our keys on the counter as we pass.
We move toward our fate. What if they charge us something? Oh, what the hell? The front desk clerk, we almost know him. That's all. He smiles and waves at us, and out we go. And the taciturn chauffeur from before is there, and now he has a big smile, and he waves our passports at us.
That was a relief!
He hollers at us, airport!
Airport! Airport! Airport!
Our bags, we throw them in, and we slam the trunk, and we're already inside the car.
Come on, we're waiting!
And off we go to the airport.
Maybe not.
I'm suddenly keenly aware that this is Qaddafi's employ and not ours.
Who's this guy?
What else can we do?
Nothing.
This is a scribble. I lost my way, and Mother Ayahuasca cannot find me and does not want to. We're in the middle of a storm, but we must keep walking, and the storm will ride to the airport. The ride. Oh, my dear young man. Mother Ayahuasca, whoever the hell she is, didn't lose you. We lost you.
And this, they never found. Accompanying us tonight. This is, of course, part of the Latin American season, the John Tho initiative here at the Actors Center. So we have one more performance tomorrow at 8 p.m. Please, it would be great if you can tweet about it, or Instagram, or Facebook, or whatever, tell people the old-fashioned way. Yeah. And also, we'll be at Crystal Palace at the Opera Norwood Library at 8 p.m. on Friday.
With even more food.
Yeah, more food. Yeah, and some tequilas and mezcals as well. And if you feel like you didn't have molletes or cajeta and you want some, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you.